Hey there, it's Michael here. Hope you are having a wonderful day. Yesterday on Reddit, I made a post on how to train your discipline. And one of the questions that came up twice was, how do I negotiate with myself? On one hand, I know what to do. I know the task that I'm supposed to be doing. But then I start arguing with myself on the other hand. And it's like, oh yeah, it's okay to be lazy for this reason. And your mind talks you out of it. So how do I manage this negotiation? How do I get myself to actually do it? Well, first of all, negotiating with yourself is the exact fucking opposite of discipline. Discipline means doing the hard things, whether you feel like it or not, whether you are in great shape or not, whether you feel motivated or not, right? Discipline means doing the things necessary that success requires of you, regardless of how you feel, regardless of how your day is going, regardless of what is happening in your life. You do it anyway. Because guess what? If you only do the work when you feel like it, you are doomed to stay a loser forever. Because guess what? You're almost never going to be motivated. You're almost never going to be inspired to work. And the reason for that is because your mind, your subconscious, it wants to preserve energy. And so it wants to always do as little as possible. Your mind always wants to take the easy way out. And so if you only ever do the things when you're inspired, when you're motivated, you're going to do like 10% of what someone who is disciplined is going to do. You're going to take 10% of the actions that someone is going to take who is disciplined. And you're going to lose, right? If you want to get a certain job, guess what? If there's 10 people out there, you're one of them. Guess what? If the other people have been more disciplined in training their skills, in doing better work, in just going above and beyond, they are going to get the job, right? It's competitive. Life is competitive, whether we want to look at it or not. And by the way, I totally 1000% believe in abundance. Anyone who's willing to work hard can get whatever they want out of life, period. And the reason for that is that most people, they only do things when they feel like it. And so they will lose out every single time. And so you don't negotiate with yourself. That's the answer. You do not ever fucking negotiate. You set your own standards. You set your own goals. But after that, there is no fucking choice anymore off the table. Right? If you still say to yourself, I want to get in shape. Well, guess what? Eating fucking hamburgers and watching Netflix for 5 hours a day, that's now off the table. It will not fucking happen. Not if you want to succeed. Right? If you're happy with the life you are, just close this video. You don't need to watch it. If you want to get more, you stop negotiating with yourself, period. You tell yourself and you drag yourself to whatever task you set yourself. Think of it like this. It's kind of like having a child. And that child is just joyful, they're playful, they're just running around, screaming, doing child things, right? But now they're running towards a busy road. Do you think I'm going to sit there, if it's my child, and be like, well, son, you should really not go towards this road because of these reasons? Do you think I'm going to be negotiating with my child? Hell fucking no. I'm going to grab them by the arm, grab them by the neck if I have to, and I'm going to pull them away from the busy street. And guess what? The child might cry. That might be painful because I'm gripping their arm too hard. Guess what? I do not fucking care, right? They're having some pain right now, but the alternative is getting hit by a car, right? That's the thing for you as well. It's the same thing for your life. You might be feeling painful because you need to do the hard exercise. You need to do the hard work when you don't really feel like it. But guess what? Your alternative is staying stuck in life. Your alternative is being a loser. Your alternative is getting nothing done while other people pass you by because they are able to do the hard work without negotiating with themselves because they are disciplined, right? So if you cannot get yourself to do the difficult things, you are never actually going to succeed. Because there's going to be so many people out there who go above and beyond, who are disciplined, who do the things whether they feel like it or not. Because that's the thing here. If you are waiting for a moment before you feel like it, before you're motivated, before you're inspired, that's almost never going to happen. Your mind, by default, wants to do what's easy and what's fun in this moment. It's not concerned with the future. So the future is some faraway thing. Your mind, just like a child, wants to have as much fun and engagement in the current moment. And so if you're a parent, You are responsible for making sure they don't put their fingers in the fucking power outlet. You're responsible for making sure that they don't get hit by a car when they're just playing and running around. It's your responsibility. It's the same thing with your mind, your subconscious. You are responsible for doing the right things. It's like a ship, right? You're the captain. Your subconscious mind is supposed to follow your orders. So you don't negotiate with that subconscious of yours. You are responsible for making sure that the right things actually happen. And if you cannot do that, if you cannot get yourself to be disciplined, and by the way, I'll link the Reddit thread below in this video so that you can read this, so that you can actually train your discipline to do this. But if you cannot get yourself to do the difficult things, there's a name for that. It's called a loser. Because if you cannot take action on will, on your own command, whether you feel like it or not, whether you're inspired or not, whether you're motivated or not, you will be doomed to not take the action required for you to succeed, right? It's not just about doing your quote-unquote best. It's about doing what is required. And if your best is not good enough yet, you need to learn new skills. You need to increase your discipline. You need to increase your willpower. You need to take bigger actions, right? You need to become the person who's capable of achieving your goals. And I know for the most part, we aren't that person yet. Most people these days grow up without having true role models in their life, without having learned discipline and willpower as a child. And so it's difficult to do that as an adult, because it's just like a muscle, right? If I'm training my arms constantly, my arm is getting stronger. If I'm training my discipline constantly, my willpower is getting stronger. But most people for the first 15, 18, 20 years of their lives, they are never taught a grain of discipline. And so it's difficult, right? And so you need to train that. You need to tell yourself like, no, I will not sit here listening to this bullshit of why it's okay to be lazy right now. I am gonna get my ass to the gym right in this moment, period. And so that's your responsibility. So here's the thing, your emotions, it's a good indicator of what is going on inside. I talked about this with an experienced therapist on my previous podcast. And one of the things that he said is that those kinds of emotions, pain, sadness, even depression, they are signals. They are signals that something in your life is broken. So here's the thing, your emotions are a good indicator internally of what is happening in your life. But they should not be an indicator for your external actions. So here's the thing, it's 100% okay if you're feeling down, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling depressed, right? That's how you're feeling inside. That's okay. It is not okay to let that dictate your actions. Because guess what? If you're feeling depressed, as an example, if you're not spending more time outside, if you're not setting goals for yourself and moving towards those, if you're not taking actions so that you can actually be proud of what you've done that day, if you're not doing the hard things that make things better and it actually fix the reasons why you're feeling depressed, then you will stay stuck forever. Depression is not some clinical disease kind of thing. It is the result of the actions and the choices you've taken in the past. And you have 100% power over it. I know this because I've been depressed. I've been suicidal. And the way I got out of it is because I set a vision for my future. Something bigger than what I had at the moment. And I started working towards it. I could endure the pain in the moments because I knew and I was proving to myself that I was getting out of this. So don't let your feelings, don't let your emotions get in the way of what you already know you should be doing. Oh, and by the way, I realize that if you're watching this, what I just said might make you angry. You might be like, oh my god, this guy's an asshole. I don't fucking care. Here's why. I would much rather give you the harsh truth that you can take, implement, and get better. Rather than me sitting around a campfire singing kumbaya, saying that everything is gonna be alright. Guess what? No. Time doesn't heal any wounds. Time heals wounds if you take that time to actually heal yourself, to get better, to improve yourself, and to get out of it. Only then is time gonna heal your wounds, as they say, right? So don't fall into that trap. Things don't get better automatically. Things get better when you get better. So yes, I know it's being harsh if you're hearing this, if you're depressed, if you're sad, if you're like in a state of just apathy in life. I know it's difficult to hear this, but guess what? You can break out of this, and you know it. You wouldn't be here watching this video if you didn't think there's a chance for you to get better. You wouldn't be watching a video to improve yourself if you thought that you were gonna be staying stuck forever. Again, depression is not a disease. Your emotions are not permanent. You can change your state. You can change how you feel. But you need to do that through massive action. And for that to happen, you need to not negotiate with yourself. You need to be like, okay, this is the person I'm gonna become. This is who I am. This is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna fucking do it. And guess what? At first, yes, it will be difficult. If you get yourself and you drag yourself by the hair to the gym 20, 30, 50 times, the 51st time, it will be a bit easier than the 31st time. Right? And so as you do it over and over again, as you reinforce your behavior, it becomes part of who you are. Right? If you go to the gym every single day for a year, there's no way you don't identify as an athlete, as someone who exercises, right? As someone who stays in shape. There's no way around that, right? That's just who you are at that point. And so if you want to make this easier on yourself, here's how to do it. And that is you take this big, huge task. You break it down. You break it down into the smallest bit. So for example, instead of saying, I'm going to go to the gym for 2 hours, which creates a huge mountain if you're not used to going to the gym. Right? Instead of creating a mountain for yourself, what you say is, I'm going to set foot in the gym. Instead of saying, I'm going to read 30 pages today, you're going to say, I'm going to read 1 page. Break it down to something that's so small that there are no excuses possible. This is what I call Newton's third law applied to people. And Newton's third law is that objects that are in motion tend to want to stay in motion. Objects that are still tend to want to stay still. So the first thing is to get yourself in motion and get started. Don't negotiate with yourself. Break it down to something so small that there are no fucking excuses possible. Because if you cannot get yourself started, you have no chance in this world of getting success. No chance at all. None. So you break it down into something so small where there are no excuses possible and you do not tolerate the struggle, the setback from yourself. Your mind kicking and screaming like a little child of like, I don't want to do this. Your mind is never going to want to do this. It's hard work. Your mind wants to avoid that. Your mind wants to go for what's easy, what's simple, what's the most fun in the present moment. And so you don't engage in that discussion. You don't engage in the negotiation. You say to yourself, I'm going to do this, period. And then you're going to actually do it. Drag yourself by the hair if you have to. So guess what? If you are not willing to do the work any day of the week, whether you feel like it or not, whether you're motivated or not, you will fall behind the people who do it anyway. You will always, and I mean always, lose to those kinds of people if you're only doing things whenever you feel like it. Because guess what? If you only do it when you feel like it, that means you're going to do it like 1 time out of 10 instead of 10. Right? You're always going to lose to the person who does it 10 out of 10 times. Right? You're always going to lose out. Life's competitive. So if you negotiate with yourself, you are already on the losing side. So make it easy for yourself to take action, but know that it's your responsibility. Just like you would guide a child to make the right decisions, it is your job, your responsibility to guide yourself to making the right decisions. You cannot trust your subconscious mind for this. You cannot trust your feelings to dictate the right actions to take. If you're feeling fear, that's most likely the sign that you need to actually do it instead of staying away from it. Of course, don't put yourself in dangerous situations, but for 99% of the situations in our current lives, going towards fear would be the right decision. So you cannot let your emotions be the boss of you. You be the boss of your emotions. And so that's the thing here. And so if you want to improve your life, I've got a free course on how to boost your confidence, how to boost your self-esteem. Because guess what? If you feel truly confident, you can take on anything in the world. So go ahead, go over on the link below this video or go to transformationalconfidence.net to get that course. It's absolutely free. It's 5 days full of training. So go ahead, get the training. It's absolutely free and I'll see you inside or in the next video. So bye for now.